first thing I'm noticing is there's a threesome here. I'm seeing there could either be an air sign woman involved. This could be Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. And there's two guys who are looking at her. So it's possible that you may relate to one of these if you're King of Swords. Normally this is an air sign, so that doesn't necessarily mean that it's you. This could be, again, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. But it's just interesting we have the two guys looking at the woman here. So whether there's decisions being made regarding her, or these are a natural couple, Queen of Swords and King of Swords. They may be involved in a decision that's being made, some assessment. Seven of Coins can mean assessment, change of direction. Usually it's a card of patience. So in the reverse position, it can often mean being impatient about something. And this couple could be like, couples who are your landlord, your boss. They're usually in a position of authority as king and queen. So it means that they're somehow being involved in whatever it is that's in delay or in reassessment right now. And the fact that the Tower is here shows that there may be some sudden, unexpected change that you didn't see coming. This is in the reverse position. So it may mean that it's out of the blue, or it's a change that you're resistant to. Tower in the upright position means it's change that is sudden, drastic, comes out of nowhere, changes the whole structure of what used to be in place, what used to be impervious, what used to be established and tried and true and solid. Lightning hits the Tower and that all crumbles. So it could be that there is, maybe even behind the scenes, since this is all in shadow, this is all in reverse. And when things are in reverse, that means that they're either in shadow, or some sort of doubt or fear or confusion is preventing them from coming to the surface. So this is happening under the surface. There may be a way in which a king and a queen, a couple who's in an authority position, is discussing something, assessing something, planning a change of direction, something that has required patience, like maybe, now is the time that things are all going to happen. They've been waiting for this moment, like if someone's, inherited a property and they're the new landlords and, change happens when they're ready. Or, at work, if this is a newlywed couple or something and they are the new owners, they can cause a lot of drastic changes that aren't readily being seen. So what I'm seeing for you, Cancer, at the beginning of the month is that there's something happening beneath the surface, behind the surface, that it's not readily accessible from your point of view. And with this assessment card and change of direction, there's something that may require some patience, but it's hard to do right now, if you're even seeing it. This may be all that's like strings are being pulled behind the scenes, but be ready for something sudden and drastic, because Tower is showing up for you, and it is showing up in the reverse position. So, sometimes Tower can represent, or especially in the reverse position, it can represent change that we're afraid of and that we're resistant to. But change is coming. That's what Tower says. And I do see it as being related to this couple. If there's an air sign couple that you are involved with, they're kind of surrounding the decision making in the situation, and there is some change ahead. So just batten down the hatches, Cancer, or just get ready for something to come out of the blue, because it seems as though there may be stuff happening behind the scenes. In the middle of the month, things change for you. It could, even though it looks devastating and terrible and fearful, and, you may be resisting it or fearful about it, it actually looks like there's some good resolution to it with this Ace of Wands and Ten of Cups. In the middle of the month, there is a new beginning here. So this could mean leaving a job, leaving a house, being kicked out of a job or being kicked out of a house, or something drastically changing. The breakup of a relationship, or it can also mean breaking out of your shell. So it could be that, you know, someone's pulling strings for you behind the scenes and now you get your big break. I mean, Tower isn't necessarily always negative. It just means drastic change. Sometimes that can be for the better, but in the reverse position, it looks like it's something that you would be resistant to or fearing. But it leads to this Ace of Rods. This is Ace of Fire. This is a new beginning, new motivation, new start, because all aces are new beginnings and new starts. And Ace of Rods has the archetype of the person at the front of a parade, the baton twirler, who you always see them out in front of the parade leading it. That's got this energy to it. It's like, here comes the first person. Here comes the initiation of the new thing that, you know, all the rest is going to follow. And it also is the image of a baton that runners carry. So whoever has the active element, whoever's carrying the baton is the active runner. So it's a card full of fire and energy and drive and motivation, and it's towards a new beginning. It's like the feeling of a new spring, which is very appropriate for April here for you, Cancer. So towards the middle of the month, be ready for some newness, a new spring, new motivation, passion, fire, energy, vitality. That's happening for you. With the moon, this is a card that can sometimes mean illusion, because the moon does not reflect its own light. It reflects the sun's light, so it's appearing to be something other than it's not, or other than it is. And so the moon can be a card of illusion, and you Cancers are moon children anyway. So one of the things that I'm seeing in the reverse position here is it's saying don't be deceived by illusion. You know, don't let things deceive you. Be aware of any deceptiveness. On the counter side too, though, this could be a card. Sometimes moon can show up. It's very dreamy, very, you know, it's nighttime visions. And I always see this card as finding balance between the domesticated side of ourselves, which is represented by the dog, and the wild side of ourselves, which is represented by the wolf here. And it's finding that balance while you're allowing your innermost feelings to come up. I mean, this is a lobster or a crab, which is symbolic of either Scorpio or Cancer. So this could be you, Cancer, your innermost self, your subconscious drives. The water always represents the emotional element. So there's something coming up from the deep. And one of the opportunities with the moon card is to find balance in letting those deep, you know, maybe subconsciously buried emotions to come up under the gentle light of the moon. With this in the reverse position, it's saying, it's questioning for me, whether are you allowing those deep-seated emotions and feelings to come up? And if so, are you doing it in a balanced way? So those would be two different possibilities for moon in the reverse, is saying, don't be deceived, don't fall prey to illusions, either from an external source or from within. And also, like, allow and find a balanced way to let and allow these subconscious, deep-seated feelings to come up, you know, not in a totally savage, brutal, aggressive, destructive way, but also not in a tamed down, watered down, always obedient, always following the rules kind of way. Like somewhere where there's balance there, where you have order, balance between order and chaos. So then, I mean, it's going to lead ultimately to the supreme happiness. This is 10 of Cups. This is the most amount of cups that can appear on a card, and cups represent emotion, emotional fulfillment. You can just see in the imagery of the card that it's like where the rainbow is landing, and there's, in 10 of Cups, it's a card of joy and love and peace among the family. Usually in this card there's a happy couple and even a couple kids that are just dancing and celebrating life together. So 10 of Cups is like having arrived at the end of the rainbow, you know, feeling content, feeling full. You may even, with this moon card, just be becoming aware that you had been deceived, that you thought everything was hunky-dory, and, you know, maybe you thought it was the best thing ever. You thought it was the sun, and it turned out to not be, but it ends up being like a happy change because you're starting something new that you're very content with. There's a couple different ways that this could go, but basically having 10 of Cups in the upright position and this Ace of Wands says that in the middle of the month, there's something that you're going to begin that's going to bring you great contentment. This could go a couple of different ways, but I already talked about what those are. With this too, you know, there's something dramatically changing for you in April, Cancer. I mean, this whole row is all about, Tower is about sudden and dramatic change. Again, in the reverse position, it may be change that you're fearful about or resistant to or don't see coming. Wheel of Fortune is also about change. This is a card of like, the tables are turning, the seasons are changing, whatever was down is now going to be up, whatever is up is now going to be down. This is like the change of the cycles, change of season, change of luck, change of position. So that's another change card. And then this card, Eight of Cups, is also about moving on, leaving something that you love behind, something that you've put a lot of TLC into. So this is all like Cups energy is stuff that you have put a lot of heart and soul into, or a lot of time and attention, and you're feeling weary, feeling like it's time to end this cycle, time to move on to something new. Whether you're resisting that or not, it's showing up. This Eight of Cups is saying, I feel like I'm ready to move on. So this is an end of cycle card, or ready to move on card. This is a new beginning card. So there's that kind of energy happening for you. 3 major cards of change, 2 of which are major arcana. So I'm seeing something definitely changing for you this month, Cancer. Let's see if you can identify what that is. It could be even just because you're allowing inner feelings to come up. And not deceiving yourself anymore about what they are, or, you know, just being honest and allowing inner feelings to surface. So towards the end of the month, I see this is 4 of Cups, and there's an interesting thing about the 4 of Cups is that in some ways, if you look at just this part of the card, it looks as though this guy is just consumed with looking at how things are. This is what is, this is what's always going to be. This is like when you're preoccupied with what exists, you miss out on what could be. You miss out on what life is trying to hand you. And Cups are emotionally based they're emotionally base symbols. They represent the heart energy or emotion. So it's something that you love. It's something that the world wants to give you to increase your love. But if you are just like a hermit here, I call this sometimes my Rip Van Winkle card, where he's asleep. He's just so almost like gazing at his navel and just preoccupied with himself that he misses out on this beautiful thing that he's going to love that the universe is trying to hand him. So this, whenever I see this card, I always say look up and out of yourself, because there's something that the world wants to give you that you're just not noticing or not receiving. So be aware of that towards the end of the month. Then I also see a Page of Swords here and Queen of Rods. Page of Swords is sometimes a younger air sign person, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. But Page of Swords in its archetype means someone who, I think of it like a idealistic college student when I think of this. Like, you know how when sometimes college students find a philosophy or a dogma that they want to stand behind and they want to just go conquer the world and you know, really fight for that cause. That's what Page of Swords energy kind of has. It's someone who's willing to stand on the top of the hill. You know, this one sword represents the truth. They think they've found it, and they're just kind of learning how to use the sword initially. So this is idealism. It's willing to stand up for a cause, stand up for a belief, and like declare it and proclaim it. And then Queen of Rods is someone who's usually a fire sign. So this could be Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. And Queen of Rods is someone who is attractive and witty and confident, and she's like always coming back with a witty remark. She's the Queen of Fire, so she's got a lot of vitality. You know, she's got this really sunny energy to her. So there could it be a mother-son relationship that, you know, this couple is involved with. You've met a couple that is enabling you to leave either a house or a job. You're realizing that you want to move on from something here. And it may be that they inspire you to move on from something, that you can see that, a different life is possible with this sort of confidence and this sort of belief. Or this could also represent you, Cancer, with like a newfound belief and, confidence in yourself that you're willing to move on from just feeling stuck. These three cards could be like a discovery of, something that your heart wants, discovery of a truth or an inner truth, especially with this feelings coming up and allowing it. New truths can be revealed. And then this Queen of Rods just has confidence and ability, vitality, passion. She's a master of fire. So she's a master of, living her sunny, radiant self. And that often will prompt us to leave something behind, enact all these changes that keep us feeling stuck, because Eight of Cups can feel very stuck, very weary, and just acknowledging that readiness for change. So I see change happening for you in April, Cancer. I do see a lot of contentment here with this Ten of Cups, and be aware that towards the beginning of the month there may be changes behind the scenes and things that come out of the blue that you may not be aware of, or you may not have any say in. It's these people, the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, are really in an authority position, and it may appear to be unfair because in the upright position, Queen of Swords and King of Swords are very fair characters, but in the reverse position, it can seem to be some unfairness there, but ultimately it works out in such a way where you have this new beginning and you find a lot of contentment. It may just kind of like be kicking you out of a rut, and you end up going in a direction that you want to, seeing new opportunities, really confirming truths for yourself, and feeling this confidence, this sunniness, this vitality, radiance, and energy that enables you to move on from something that you feel stuck in.